Hello and welcome to my review of Saw 7 3D, the final chapter, whatever the fuck you want to fucking call it. It's the one that came out in 2010. Most people either call it Saw 3D or Saw the final chapter. If you're really sophisticated and big brain, you call it Saw 7, like Series World does, because... And it's a very obvious reason as to why we call it Saw 7, because it's not the final chapter anymore, and also it's very hard to watch it in 3D anymore, so there's no point calling it either of those two. So what do you call it? Well, you call it Saw 7. So I'm probably going to title this video Saw 7 The Final Chapter 3D review because I think that's funny. So leave me alone. But the thumbnail will probably say, I don't know. I'll get around to it. But there's a few things that I want to just talk about before we start this review, or just go in depth in it. And it's obviously the production of this movie is one of them, and the other one is Saw the Ride, which I forgot to talk about. I should have talked about in the review for Saw 6, but I didn't because that film's so good that I had to talk about that on its own. So we're going to talk about that now. First off, obviously Saw the Ride. Saw the Ride is a roller coaster that exists at the Thorpe Park Resort in the United Kingdom. It opened in 2009. Obviously themed around the hit TV series, the hit film series that at the time obviously had its, I think the 6th installment was on the way at the end of the year, and in the gift shop when it first opened you could buy Saw 5 Extreme Edition or some shit DVD in the gift shop. They don't sell, unfortunately they don't sell the Saw movies at the resort anymore, but they did then because I see an advert for it saying that. But it's a ride that uses the basis of the Saw franchise. It's themed around the characters. Billy the Puppet appears in there, but I haven't been on it in over 2 years, so don't quote me on this, but I don't think there's any connections or relevance to any of the actual characters from the series, Dr. Gordon, Hoffman, Amanda, John Kramer, Rig, anyone. I don't think there's any references to any characters other than the Jigsaw Killer himself, but we don't actually see, like, John Kramer's face or anything. There's a few, there's a few Easter eggs and stuff, but they don't actually use, interesting enough, they don't actually use Hello Zep, which is a shame. They should use that piece, but they don't. It's not got any music related to the Saw franchise playing anywhere near around it. It has a custom ambient bass soundtrack, which does do the job well. But in terms of Saw music in connection to Thorpe Park, I did mention in the previous episode that, of course, the former attraction Loggers Leap, when it was open at Halloween, it used the track Baptism from Saw 3 original score. So yeah, that's just a little fact. And also, that's Saw the Ride. It's a ride that I very much enjoy, and I do want to. I actually haven't ridden it since I've watched since I watched the films for the first time, like ages ago, like in 2019, yeah, I think it was 2019, late 2019. I'd watched them for the first time, and then I didn't go to Thorpe in 2020, and I haven't been yet this year. So it's been, I haven't seen haven't been on the ride in ages. But in terms of the production of this movie, it's one that has the most messy production in it, I'd say, for maybe the first one, and that's that originally this film was going to be in 2 parts, a 2-part finale of the series to come to a conclusion. It was always going to be there was always going to be a last movie around this point in time. There was going to be, when this film came out in 2010, that is, there was obviously going to be like the ending part 1, and then the second part 2 was like Saw. It was originally going to be called Saw Endgame, so you would have had Saw which I have to admit, just to pause for the fact there, that's quite funny that nearly 11 years before Marvel would use that name, it was going to be Saw Endgame, but that's not what it was called at the end of the day, and I really am glad they didn't call it that because it doesn't fit Saw at all. But so it was going to be Saw Endgame Part 1 in October 2010 and Saw Endgame Part 2 in October 2011, and I think the original idea was to have them shoot back to back, like shoot at the same time, sort of thing, like a lot of sequels do, like Infinity War and Endgame, they shot back to back. So the original plan was to do that and bring back David Hackle, who directed Saw 5, which I would have been a fan of because I would want to see him, because I don't blame him for the reason why Saw 5 wasn't as good as it was, and I wanted to see him do another film and do it better. But unfortunately, sometime just literally shortly before filming was about to begin, Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures axed David Hackle, and then around the same time, Kevin Gruhart, the director of Saw 6, I hope I'm right, I know I'm not, but I don't care, was originally scheduled to direct Paranormal Activity 2 in 2010 for Paramount, and he was about to go into production with them until Lionsgate stepped in and said, "Hey, we have a clause in your contract which means we're going to force you to direct the next Saw film." So he did that, but he said on the condition that I get to rewrite things on the set and it will be terrible. And then they also shot it in 3D. So that's what happened, and unfortunately, he was put into a position where he was forced to do it, much to his own dismay, not wanting to direct the film, wanting to direct wanting to direct Paranormal Activity 2. But he directed this film, and nonetheless. Apart from those production woes and Saw the Ride that we talked about, let's actually dive into the movie Saw 3D. Now, this movie is unique in that it's the first time first time ever, and that hasn't happened since, that a trap in the Saw series took place in broad daylight, and that's the opening trap, the table saw trap, I want to call it. So that's an interesting thing that we have with the table saw traps. Traps here, by the way, to go from, we've got table saw here, we've got the opening trap of Bobby Dagen's game, which is, I'm just going to call it spike basket trap. That's what I'm going to call it, because that's essentially what it is. Then we have, obviously, speak no evil, hear no evil, and see no evil, or which are what the traps are called. But yeah, speak no evil, see no evil, and hear no evil. Then we also have the car trap, which is where you have the so-called racists. Well, I'm not going to say the so-called, but that's what they've been said in the film. Racists who get put in a trap where they all die. And interesting fact about that is that Evan, the character Evan, who's the main guy who sat in the car, that is played by Chester Bennington, the lead singer of not the Offspring, no. He's Linkin Park, the lead singer of Linkin Park. Chester Bennington played that character, and that was his last on-screen appearance in a film before his death in 2017. Yeah, rest in peace, unfortunate death. But yeah, the trap plotline here, I think the traps in this movie are actually they're okay. They're not the best. Definitely better than all of them in Saw 5. But I still think they're very much enjoyable as well. And again, I do like the trap plotline here is alright. I suppose it's good. I like the idea of someone pretending to be in a Saw trap. Jigsaw notices them and puts them in for, I think that's a great concept, and it works quite well here. And I like the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil sort of thing, which is a great concept to use as well. This will be the last film to be written by I can't remember who they are, but they're the last ones to write. This is the last film they wrote, because they wrote 4 through 7, and they would then, obviously coming around Jigsaw, you got the two writers who wrote Jigsaw and wrote Spiral for the Jigsaw as well. So yeah, there's that. But again, we also see one of my actual favourite scenes in this movie is Hoffman go absolutely batshit insane, and he disguises himself in a body bag, goes into the body bag gets opened into the police station. He then murders basically everyone in the police station. It's a brilliant scene, and then he kills Jill Tuck with the OG reverse bear trap. So yeah, big spoilers on that one. You should know that by now. But yeah, again, I often see people say this is the worst one, but I'm inclined to disagree with that one, because I feel like Saw 5 as a whole is the worst one personally, and I think elements of Saw 3 are just as bad, if you ask me personally. So yeah, that's interesting, and I enjoyed that little aspect of Hoffman and him just going batshit insane. And I think the traps here, again, like I was saying, I don't think this is the worst one. I feel like 5 is the worst one for me. I say worst, it's the weakest one. I can still watch it, enjoy it, but I just don't think it's that good, to be honest. I really don't enjoy it. It's really, really low. Like, it's literally my least favourite one, but I feel like this is better than that. And I think even some parts of 3 are weaker than this film, and even some parts of 4 are weaker than this film. I do think that 6 is way better than this one, but I feel like I'm gonna probably put it above 5 and maybe even above 3. I don't actually know. I might even put it above 4 if I'm feeling extra special. But yeah, this is again, there's obviously speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. Then there's the teeth trap, which I really can't usually sit through that much. I really can't. And then there's obviously the final. I'm going to call it pig burner because it that's exactly what it is. It's a pig-shaped oven that burns Joyce alive. So yeah, there's that. And actually, here's an interesting fact: we don't actually see Bobby Dagan die, so he's technically still alive as well. But yeah, we don't see Bobby Dagan's death, so, and that's fun. But and obviously the big plot twist here. Here's big fat fucking spoiler warning. Go move away now. Click off this video if you don't want to spoil for the ending of this movie, because I applaud you, even though it's not exactly the best movie in the franchise. The ending is brilliant, and I probably one of the best endings since 4 or 2. I like the endings in 2, and I think 3's ending was boring, and there was no twist. It wasn't dramatic. It was just death. 4's ending was really good. 5's ending was actually quite good. So yeah, best ending since 5 or 4-ish. But yeah, I do advise you to not continue watching this video if you don't want to be spoiled. I said it a while ago. I'll say it again. I'm going to talk something different for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to switch back over to talking about the big spoiled twist. But yeah, I think we do also see a lot of. We do see there's a nice sort of Easter egg based scene where Bobby Dagan goes to a Jigsaw survivors group, and we see a lot of characters from previous movies, a few from Saw 6, a few from Saw 5, and it's a nice little. If you want more details about the sequels and the things you missed, check out Caesar's World. Big up my man, great channel, great content. Highly recommend it. Much bigger than I am. Any channel I recommend is going to be bigger than me. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, go check out that stuff. It's brilliant. But the big spoil here is that at the end of the obviously we've seen in certain parts in the movie the opening part of the opening in the Jigsaw survivor group itself, but we see Dr. Gordon and we're like, oh, he's just there. But the ending really signifies the importance of Dr. Gordon as a character and how he is Jigsaw's greatest asset, because he didn't go directly into being a disciple like the others did, and I think Jigsaw did the right thing of keeping him under wraps from the rest of the rest of the Jigsaw accomplices, disciples, from Amanda, away from Amanda, and away from Hoffman and that. So that's brilliant. But yeah, and that's obviously that ending is perfect. It shows that Dr. Gordon has been alive throughout this entire series, and he has been actively helping Jigsaw for a lot of things. So again, I'm just going to go through what he does say, what we are seeing Dr. Gordon helps Jigsaw with. So I would, again, spoiler warning, if you haven't already turned off now, then you're done. But we are shown that he was the one who put the key in the person's eye and sewn it in Saw 2, which a lot of people theorized it was him, because the person doing it in the video in Saw 2 that we see has a limp, which Dr. Gordon would have because of having to cut off his own leg. So yeah, he's done that. We also see that in the mausoleum trap from Saw 4, he was the one that sewed their eyes closed. It sewed the eyes closed and the mouth shut. We don't actually see him sew the mouth, but we can only assume he did that because we see him sew the eyes. We also see that he wrote the note, that one of the two notes, the second note that Hoffman sees, this is "I know who you are," which he assumed was Peter Strahm, but it wasn't. It was actually Dr. Lawrence Gordon. So that's another way to sort of almost throw him off, I guess. And we also see that the tape that before what I just said, before everything I just said, we see that the tape that Jill put through a letterbox in the last movie was to Dr. Gordon, and that tape said that he wants that Jigsaw wants Dr. Gordon to look after Jill, and that if anything happens to Jill, he must act immediately. And obviously, Jill gets game ended at the end of this movie, and he acts immediately in putting a sedation into Mark Hoffman. And the ending of this movie is absolutely perfect. We hear the music, and we see the shithole once again. We see clips from the previous films, and then it's a big controversy. It's not a controversy; it's a big debate in the Saw fandom. We see, Dr. Gordon. We see big up to Hoffman though, because unlike anyone else who's ever been in that situation with which is one other person, you know what I mean? Instead of, waiting and whining about it, Hoffman goes straight for the saw. Like, he doesn't sit there and moan about it. He goes straight for the saw, which means he clearly is such a badass that he could cut his own leg off. He goes straight for the saw. And, but Dr. Gordon stops him and throws the saw out the room, which we see for very dodgy 3D effects. The 3D effects in this movie are so obvious and so shit. So, yeah, he throws the saw out of the room, turns the light off, pulls the door, says the thing, says game over, and the film ends. And it's a big old debate in the Saw fandom. Is Hoffman alive? Is Hoffman alive, or is he dead? I'm of the opinion that I think he was smart enough to find a way out of it, because I think Hoffman's a very, very intelligent character, and I think he would have found a way out of it, considering he set up a lot of Jigsaw's games. So I'm thinking he could find a way out of it even without the saw. Personally, a lot of people think he's dead, but I still think he's alive. Personally, I think I know there's the whole thing where he's not mentioned in Jigsaw, so he must be dead. But I think he's alive, and I think it's brilliant, and I hope he comes back. And there's apparently rumours that he's in, but I don't know, because I was looking on the Wikipedia page and it said he was in it, and then it immediately got edited and that was removed. So I don't actually know if he's in it or not. I'm pretty sure he probably isn't. And like I said, you can't really confirm or deny that. He can't just I was just saying to myself, he can't like say on Twitter, oh, Spiral, just be like out the Spiral train and say, oh, new movie I'm in. Can't wait for you to see this new character I'm playing. It's like, and everyone's gonna be like, it's obviously Hoffman. So he can't really do that. I don't know if he is in it or isn't in it. I'm pretty sure he isn't, but apparently he is. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for the lack of videos on the main channel. It's been a few days. There won't be another Saw review until the 29th of May. So I'm recording this on the 22nd. It'll go up on the 22nd. So there won't be another Saw review or another review on the main channel until the 29th. So I do apologise the weekend delay. It's just I'm a busy boy. And but yeah, if you do like my content and stuff, I've been streaming on Twitch a lot more, Rollercoaster Tycoon 3, that stuff with the mic and stuff. I do appreciate all the reviewers and that. And also I'll continue to pump out GTA 3 videos whenever I get a chance to on the second channel, and also the stream archives as well. So go check all that stuff out. The next stream will probably be sometime potentially later on the 22nd today. But other than that, after that, it will be on potentially on Wednesday the 26th of May. I don't actually know. I can't confirm or deny that. It might be, it may not be. But it's most likely going to be the 26th or the 27th. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this Saw 3D review. Have a wonderful day, and bye bye for now.